Alright, so I've spoken about how I've been enjoying the Eagle GX on pretty much all the bikes I've had recently, last couple of years. I really like it. The only thing I don't like about the Eagle GX is the clutch on the rear derailleurs. So if you keep your derailleur hanging straight and you keep your gears indexed properly, it always works flawlessly. If it's not working flawlessly, either your derailleur hanger's bent or your gears are not indexed correctly. Or maybe your cassette's damaged, or your derailleur hanger's damaged. Your derailleur itself, the cage may be bent. So a few variables to consider with your drivetrain, obviously. But for the most part, GX has been killer. Shifter's been killer. Everything's been perfect. So I'm still running the GX shifter. But since my last derailleur, I smashed my last derailleur, or bent the cage on my last derailleur, smashed it into a rock, I decided to go the new XT 12-speed Derailleur derailleur, teamed up with Eagle 12-speed cassette, Eagle chain, obviously. Everything else has stayed the same. GX shifter. Did a bit of reading, found out that most people seem to think it was compatible. Chucked it on. At first there was a little bit of messing around trying to get the chain length correct, trying to get the back jockey wheel, the top jockey wheel, up high enough, close enough to the cassette that the shifting wasn't vague. So with the GX you can get that. You obviously use with the Eagle you obviously use the little tool that they give you. You set it up at sag, you set up the distance with the B-limit screw. With this one it was much harder to get it close and not feeling vague and get your right chain length. So I eventually got there. It was a fair bit of fiddling around, but I got it set up well. It does hang down. I'd say it hangs down a little bit further than the GX derailleur I had, but shifting is as good. Now that it's worn in, I think it might have been a little bit sticky at first, because there was a point at around the 9th to 10th gear, or the 8th to 9th, where it was a little bit vague every now and then, but now it seems like it's crisp all the time. So pretty impressed. XT, the reason I went over to XT instead of buying another GX derailleur, I've had heaps of them, and like I said, I do enjoy them, but the clutches are terrible. After a couple of months, sometimes the clutches are terrible from new, but they definitely wear out and become real sloppy within a couple of months. But if you look at this, now I'm a bit broken and beat up now, so bear with me, but that hurts. You've got this little bit of play, and then it's just hard clutch. It's a real solid clutch. Yeah, take this off, turn the clutch off. Oh, that hurt. I've just done my shoulder, so I'm a little bit sore. And then it honestly feels like a worn out GX clutch. So that's with no clutch at all. And then you simply flick that back on, full clutch, and it's killer. It's so strong. It does seem a little bit clappy still, like the video. I first put it on just before I did the video of the Horsenall's Gully alternate line, so go back and check that video out if you like. But in the introduction to that, you can hear the bike, you can hear the derailleur slapping and the chain slapping. So it doesn't quite the drivetrain down quite as much as I would have hoped, but all the same, shifting's crisp. Never ever worry about dropping a chain again. So as soon as those Sram clutches give out or start to be sloppy, you start getting you start dropping chains. If your clutch is a little bit sloppy and you don't have a brand new narrow wide on the front, you'll definitely be dropping chains. So it becomes even more important to make sure that your chain guide's set up correctly and it's not too high above the chain there. So you can see mine is right on top of the chain. So there's very, very little room to move. It doesn't rub, there's no issues there, but there's literally no room for that chain to come out. So it's perfect. That's how you want it set up. Oh, excuse me. Overall, shifting's killer. I'm impressed that it tees up well with the GX, so I didn't have to change anything else. was literally just buy a different derailleur, $170, same price as the GX. I think weight for weight, they're more or less the same. And to be honest, I'll probably keep it. I'll probably leave it on there until it breaks or wears out or whatever. I've got no intention on putting another Sram one on there unless this breaks again. Or I run into some other problems mechanically or whatever. But like I said, so far so good. It's killer. I've been riding with it for a couple of months now, or probably over a month now, and it's been good. It's something that I've just ignored. Once I had it on and rode it a few times and that vagueness disappeared, I've just ignored it and it's done its job. So XT, if you're thinking about it, chuck it on. You don't have to change your whole drivetrain. You don't have to change your cassette or anything like that. It'll work with a GX shifter. It'll probably work with an NX shifter and an XO shifter, whatever. It's all the same actuation as far as I know. 12 speed, can't go wrong.